Ladies and gentlemen, what a night. Truly, truly what a night. Looking back on it, the Geeks were all over it. Overall, 11-3. All right. The picks that we missed overall were Esteban Ribovic, very close fight. Vivian Araujo, not the best read. And Miss Valentina L. 3 for 3 on parlays, hit a few over-unders, and a few other plays. We got the geek sheet here. All right, look it over. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. All right, and if you want access to the geek sheet, hit us on Instagram or Twitter. Both, why not? Get all the action there. But let's jump into it. All right, first fight of the night, we had Esteban Ribovic versus Loic Radzhabov. All right, Radzhabov stepping in on short notice. He was ready for the fight. He said he had been training, looking to get a fight. Just so happened he was going to get his shot. UFC 285, massive card, a lot of eyes. And he put on quite the banger. These two definitely tired in the third round. The first two, a lot of action. Loic was getting a lot of takedowns. I believe 7 in the first round. He had 11 in the fight, and that was the difference maker. Okay, Esteban Ribovic, very, very entertaining prospect. I feel like his fights going forward are going to be must watch, because he's in there to slang and bang. He got a knockdown. He hit more significant strikes. He was going for subs on the ground. But at the end of the day, wrestling, big part of MMA. And Loic Radzhabov showed he had that veteran savvy. He's fought in the PFL championship twice now. He's been a vet, fought for $1 million 2 times. Never been finished. The guy knows what he's doing in there, and he showed it. But Esteban Ribovic, solid prospect. That's who I'm most excited about in this fight. Next, moving up, we got Farid Basharat versus Damon Blackshear. And pretty good fight. Not exactly how I thought it would go. Basharat won the first half of the fight. Blackshear came on at the end. I was expecting that to be flipped. But either way, Farid Basharat showed a lot of skill. All right, on the feet, very crafty, very slick. And then he can hold his own in the grappling as well, throw some takedowns in there. He's got a very well-rounded game, just like his brother. The Basharat bros are a solid duo. Going to be very fun to watch going forward. On the other hand, Damon Blackshear, he's game. He's ready to rock. All right, he proved that. He came out with the flying kick right at the bell. Interesting tactic, but it shows that he was ready to party. Put on a good fight, almost got the sub at the end, but a little bit too little, too late. He lost the 29-28 decision, like the Geeks predicted. 30-27. If he gives it up, I think it's still 29-28 decision for Farid Basharat.
Let's go.
Up to the next one, Tabitha Ritchie, Jessica Penne. Tabitha Ritchie, come on. Dominant. We had our doubts about Jessica Penne. I thought that the path for her was going to be on the feet, more boxing, but she was losing badly on the feet. She was trying to play the jiu-jitsu game, which Tabitha Ritchie, very good grappler. She uses dominant wrestling to get to good positions, and then ended up snatching an armbar up round 2 after a bunch of takedowns and significant strikes. So a very solid performance. Tabitha Ritchie, and also very good at fighting. So keep an eye on her going forward. I bet Jessica Penne is going to retire. Mana Martinez versus Cameron Simon up next. Cameron Simon, very tough young fella. All right, he's got to work on the kicks, the eye pokes. He had a really bad illegal knee his last fight. Not saying he's a dirty fighter, but kind of just lets it fly in there. Mana Martinez, dude, as tough as they come. He was taking some shots, giving some shots, but at the end of the day, Cameron Simon's gas tank is very impressive. His striking is getting better and better. He's 22 years old. He's able to mix in a few takedowns. The wrestling isn't great, but it's good enough to really help him shine on the feet and use his cardio to take over late in fights. All right. He got a 3rd-round finish on the Contender Series. 3rd-round finish his last fight, and he almost got one in this fight. I believe it was a 10-8 round on one of the judges. He got a point taken the first. One of the judges actually gave him a draw, which is interesting. But nonetheless, Cameron Simon, very good performance. Let's clean up the fouls a little bit, though, buddy. On to the next, Ian Gary versus Song Kanan. Ian Gary, banger. The Geeks, though, a little bit of trouble early. All right, Song Kanan really was kind of just sitting there trying to counter. Counter he did. He bopped him with a left hook. He didn't really have much else for him on the feet. Besides that, Ian Gary took the shot, ended up scrambling. There were a few tricky moments there. All right. It wasn't all easy, but he showed he can bounce back. Rounds 2 and 3. Butchered Song Kanan. All right. His face at the end of the fight was brutal. And then Ian Gary, to cap it off, Barry Furta, all right, CEO, was all over the KO. The Geeks were riding, the fellas were riding. And at the buzzer, Ian Gary, 1 minute left, puts it on for the city. Ireland, I'm sure they were going nuts. T-Mobile was going nuts as well. He hit the Billy strut. All right, maybe not the Billy yet, but he also hit the shitty gritty at the end, which was pretty solid. Ian Gary, you got some big fights in your future, buddy. Moving on up, we got Marc-Andre Barriault versus Julian Marquez. All right, as advertised, fellas, this one was a slobber knocker. Just 2 big dudes. Toughness was their best asset, and toughness was on display. All right, Marquez, credit to Factory X. He switched up camps. He was in the Kraus camp, obviously. Got to bounce out of there. Went to Factory X. Striking was pretty technical early. All right. First round, he was picking and popping, hitting Barriault with all the good shit. And then the second round came around. He was getting the deep, heavy breaths, and Barriault did what he does, that power bar style. All right. He was walking him down, getting up in his grill, and hitting body shots, like following through with the body, ripping uppercuts, hooks, all the good stuff. And ended up putting on a little sprint. All right. This was one that all the Geeks were on Marc-Andre. We were seeing it well. Most of us, though, did think it was going to be decision. We didn't see that sprint coming from Marc-Andre, but I think he was feeling that T-Mobile energy, knew he had to put on. And yeah, the ref, I'm thinking back, it might have been Mark Davis. I don't know if he doesn't like Marquez or what, but he let that dude eat some shots. And I'm sure Kendra Lust was not loving it. The podcast co-host, anything else going on there? Who knows? It could be. But either way, Marquez, you got her outside of the ring. Loss in the ring. It stings for sure, but that helps a little bit. Marc-Andre Barriault, very good performance, big dog. Congratulations on the victory. Next up, Amanda Ribas versus Vivian Araujo. Bad read by me on this one. Most of the Geeks were on Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas was the pick. She got it done. You know, we anticipated her to have better grappling. Araujo, tough name. She came in toting a 90% takedown defense. Takedown defense didn't look stellar. She usually relies on the boxing. The boxing didn't look stellar. And then from just a few panicky moments in the second round, she ended up really gassing out in the third. And Ribas looked dominant, you know, credit to her. She's coming out. She's improving her game every time. Amanda Ribas, always solid grappler, good judo throws. We're adding adding some good punches and kicks on the feet as well. I think she's coming into her own at that 125-pound division, and I think she's going to be exciting to watch going forward. She's got some good matchups in the future for show. Vivian, tough night out. I don't know where she's going next, but speaking of tough nights out, Derek Brunson versus Dricus du Plessis is up next. Brunson, good first round. All right, he showed some good old-fashioned American wrestling. End of the round, he couldn't keep Dricus down, got hit with a good elbow, and then in between rounds, he had to bring the snorkel out because he came out round 2 absolutely underwater. All right, especially considering he gassed out his last fight. He said he was going to do a lot of conditioning. Cardio wasn't going to be an issue. Cardio was an issue. Rodriguez put it on him, got the old corner, throwing in the towel from Brunson, and got the stoppage at the end of the second round. I can't give Brunson too much of a hard time because that is Dricus's style. And by style, I mean he bar fights. He's not in there to technically strike back and forth or get his grappling going in a technical manner. He is looking to keep you engaged in the fight 5 minutes, the full 5 minutes of the round. You see these other fighters, they're in their exchange and they're on the outside kind of hopping, picking and popping the shots. Dricus is just a constant pressure in your face, hitting you with punches. They might not be the best, but they're hitting you from weird angles. He's throwing his body behind him. He's got a bunch of power. He's breathing with his mouth open because he knows he needs that extra oxygen to push a game plan like he does, and he plays it well. Money Moicano tweeted out he's the best worst fighter in the world, and that might be true because skill for skill, even though he can hold his own on the feet, he can hold his own on the ground. Technically, not the best, but when he puts it all together, he has entertaining fights. He's going to be top 5. He's got some big matchups. Also, this being a top 10 UFC middleweight matchup was not great for the brand. But either way, Dricus is probably going to be in the top 5 come the Tuesday rankings. And Brunson, I believe he retired. Good career, big dog. Next up, Cody No Love. Cody Garbrandt got the return tonight against Trevin Jones, visibly not wanting to exchange on the feet. He was not trying to get in a boxing situation. That was Trevin's only way. He was going to catch him with a big hook, and Cody did a good job of nullifying that. All right, he's hitting him with some good body kicks, letting the hands go a little bit, mostly body shots in this one. And then he was working the takedowns too. And Cody, when he's on, is a very good fighter. All right, but the problem is when he sees red, when he starts getting crazy in there, things tend to go south for him. But tonight he made a conscious effort. He was going to fight smart. He was going to play the game. He was even dancing, trying to keep the fans in, but not a ton of action, which is what he needed. All right, you can say what you want, but when a guy is got his back against the wall, win or go home, win or probably be done in the UFC, Cody went out there and got the win when he needed. Did he get hit with a few big shots at the end? Absolutely. He had to shoot a panic takedown for sure, but winners win. All right, and he's trying to get back in the win column. He did it tonight. Cody, decision victory. Good work, Cody No Love. On to the main card. Bo Nickel, Jamie Pickett, Dano, all over it. All right, go back, look at the Geeks pick. He didn't even call round 1 submission. He called round 1 submission via arm triangle.
We always talk about, it could be inside distance, maybe decision, where I think this one's such a lock at inside distance what I'm looking at is if you get the option, go for an arm triangle from Bo Nickel. I'm going to trust Jamie Pickett to not give his back. And
all right, which is exactly what happened. Bo, electric walkout with the Penn State theme. Jamie Pickett, pretty solid walkout as well. but this was Bo's night. The UFC was setting him up. Sorry about that, boss. But yeah, Bo went out, threw a wild kick early, slipped, but that was the only weakness we saw the whole fight, because after that, he got up, grabbed Jamie Pickett, kneed him in the nuts, which was pretty wild. I think Jamie Pickett actually said that they are contesting the bout. They're taking it to the Nevada State Athletic Commission, trying to get that L thrown out. So we'll see what happens there. But for right now, Bo, that quick first round sub. He had it locked in for a while. Pickett was fighting it off. He wasn't tapping, and then eventually shifted the position around, got that neck clean, and got the tap. So good job, Bo. Let's get about 2 or 3 more wins, and then we got some real big fights coming up. Bo versus Hamzat. That's a dream, baby. Next up, Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner, you fight like that, big dog, people are going to want to see you fight again. Electric, he's improving. The grappling is improving. The cardio is improving. All of his weak points are getting better. Gamrot is just a tough stylistic matchup for him. And at the end of the day, that's what it was. The geeks were on this one. We called it Gamrot decision, and he squeaked it out. It was a split decision, and it was a split decision fight because Gamrot got arguably dropped once in the first, once in the second. He only got credited with getting knocked down one time, but it was arguably 2. Turner was hitting him with more shots on the feet, but Gamrot sprinkled in 4 takedowns. I'm looking at the stats right now, and ended up getting it done. I believe probably second and third they gave him. The first, Jalen Turner hit him with some good shit, knocked him down, and probably got that for him. But Gamrot, short notice, good performance. Jalen Turner, you're improving, big dog. Very good performance as well. Both their price went up. Price went up. You want to talk about that? Shavkat Rakhmonov, Jeff Neal. Fellas, that was something special happened in that octagon in T-Mobile tonight. And what a banger, because welcome to it, Shavkat. All right, price went up. Play the meme.
Today's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
If you didn't know, now you know, because all eyes were on this card. The UFC got what they wanted. Shavkat wasn't a household name. He wasn't known with the casuals, but now he is, because he went out there, dogged it out. All right, this guy, 17-0, 17 finishes. All right, Jeff Neal, dog as well. Probably the best boxer in welterweight, to be honest. I think after the recent performances, after tonight, I can give him that crown. Okay. But Shavkat was competing with him with the hands, throwing better kicks, and then mixing in a few he actually didn't get one takedown, but he was mixing a few takedown attempts, enough to keep him guessing, get inside, hit him with some big elbows, and eventually rock Jeff Neal enough to get the sub. That's got to be fight of the night. And then, Shavkat, he's not just a wrestler. Kazakhstan in general, very good boxing history. All right, they got guys like Triple G. Bivol is from there. I know he trains in Russia, but Kazakhstan. And the guys can fight, man. Shavkat, solid prospect. Jeff Neal, thanks for going to war. Missed weight by 4 pounds. It definitely helped the chin take a few of those shots. But I'm not complaining, especially looking back. Shavkat got to prove himself a little bit, get tested in there, prove he's got that dog in him. And he might get a title shot. I don't know. He might have leapfrogged Bilal. He might have to fight Bilal. I know he fought or called out Colby, but I don't think that fight will happen with Colby. I think we got Bilal or a title shot coming next for Shavkat. Either way, I'm excited for it. Next up, Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. I told you so. Very lopsided odds. I'm going to take the underdog here to get it done. Alexa Grasso. All right. I don't do that a lot, but I was all over it. Okay. I studied the film. I saw the weakness in Valentina's game. I knew that Alexa could capitalize on it. All right. Because what does Valentina do? She sits there and she tries to play the counter on the feet. She stands tall, boom, 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 when they're in range. She throws kicks when they're out of range. And then she has a little bit of the wrestling to fall back on. But it's not something that she can just depend and go to over and over. And with Grasso's style, she's in and out. She's hitting good counters on the punches, good 1-2s. And I knew the boxing was going to be giving Shevchenko problems. I knew in and out was going to make it hard for her to get those kicks off. I expected the wrestling to be a little bit of a problem, which it was. But at the end of the day, Valentina having to wrestle that much, wore the gas tank out. Grasso, I mean, what a performance. What a conditioning that she came in, because coming into that fourth round, the commentators were talking about how good a shape she was in. She wasn't breathing heavy versus Shevchenko was really digging deep. Started hitting her with some good shots. Shevchenko was getting sloppy, threw that spinning kick. That's all she wrote. Snatched that neck up. You're done, son. Got the tap. And Alexa Grasso, world champ. Let's go. Let's go. I think this was always coming to Shevchenko. If it wasn't this fight, it was going to be one of the next couple, because Shevchenko was dominating MMA at a time where women's MMA was in its infancy. All right. And Shevchenko, lifelong martial artist, she's obviously going to be ahead of the cream of the crop when a lot of the girls came up not training for MMA. They were training wrestling and got into it, or kickboxing or judo like Ronda Rousey. You have a new wave of women coming into the game that are training to be mixed martial artists. And you see that in Erin Blanchfield. You see that in Tyler Santos, Alexa Grasso, Manon Fiorot. And I think there's a real changing of the guard that is coming to women's MMA. And you saw that tonight. I think Alexa Grasso will probably go back and defend it again against Shevchenko, but that's going to be a banger fight either way. On to the main event. Johnny Bones, baby. The geeks called it. All right. I didn't think you would make it look that easy, but easy he made it look. Come on now. That man is the GOAT.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Got nut kicked, 5 seconds in. He took it personal. He went out, easily maneuvered, got the back of Ciryl Gane, and just absolutely exposed a grappling deficiency. Got the 2-minute guillotine, Berta, and pretty good interview after. A lot of people thought it got a little bit weird at some points. I mean, give the guy some leeway here. He's trying to be the good guy. He doesn't really know how to be the good guy. All he knows is how to be the greatest fighter in the world, which he does pretty damn well. He was looking a little chubby, looking a little sweaty going out. I was having second thoughts, but then it was quickly reminded, Jon Jones is the greatest fighter to ever do it. He's going to maybe go out, prove it once or twice more, and then ride off into the sunset here. But Ciryl Gane, not the best look, certainly. But the real loser tonight, unfortunately, was Mr. Francis Ngannou. I think he lost a lot of money with the ease that Jon Jones just went out and did that, because he went 5 rounds, close decision against Ciryl Gane. He was saying he was the heavyweight king. Jon Jones says, not so fast, buckaroo. Guillotine, 2 minutes in. I'm the champ. I'm the Mac Daddy. And John Jones is the best fighter in the world. So that's the takeaway. All right. What do you guys got? Leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you thought about the card. Ride with the geeks. All right. 11-3. That's a fantastic night. Bunch of parlays, splash some picks. And yeah, we're going to the moon, fellas. I'm out.